you doing today? I don't know what I'm doing, but I turned the camera on, so here we are. Hello, thanks for joining me. Sam is over there, so he's making bird noises, you know, preening and stuff. So I did my unboxing of the August Mani by me the other day, and so I wanted to use these plates, but I was thinking it might also be nice to use one of my new plates. I noticed this woman here, this sort of wistful woman by the sea, might be a good match for this nautical plate here. So let's work on that. I think I'm just gonna stick with straight up black for my outline. And instead of starting with the background, I'm gonna reverse stamp this and then see kind of what I wanna do. Oh, so cute. Yeah, okay, so maybe the rocks can be sort of gray. Oh yeah, I have the perfect polish for this actually. This is Cirque Colors Hatch, which is great for like gravel and stuff. And then I have these Essies, which are honestly pretty similar. Probably didn't need both of them, but this is Wool Me Over and Never Skip a Beat. I guess I'll use this one. So let me do this for the rocks. I'll start there. Let me get all situated here. I don't know. I'm just vibing today. It's just vibes. So part of it is her dress. Let's think while we're doing this. What color should the dress be? The ocean is going to be blue, of course. These rocks are sort of a neutral color. So I'm thinking maybe pink? I don't use pink very much. I always think I use pink a lot, and then I end up not using it because I think I use it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to kind of try to keep the light on the top of these rocks here. You like that? Gonna want to try to, that's nice, I like that. I love mimicking how people talk. I swear I'm not making fun. It's just like, I love accents and I don't know. It's just interesting to me. And some things are just fun to say, you know, like some words just feel like eating peanuts. Like it's just delicious. That's just me. Yeah, it's looking good. Maybe I ought to have put a little bit of green or something to look sort of like algae. Nah, I think I'm gonna keep it kind of simple. Imagine that. Get some of this more dark color down here. We'll go a little darker here with Cookie Crumbs. So I haven't given like life updates in a minute. I've been kind of sticking to the nail stuff. I guess what's new? My dad is in the hospital, but he'll probably be fine. I do have some interesting news that I have been holding off on sharing, just because, well, for a variety of reasons. One is that it's a little strange, and two is that it's just been sort of unreal. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of wait until it was a little more real. But, boy, where should I start? I guess I'll start at the beginning and tell you my breadcrumb story. So when I was like somewhere between the ages of 7 and 10 or so, I was down in Mexico and on a cruise, and I was playing in the ocean there in the Gulf, and the waves were very powerful. And when I was swimming, I got pulled under by the waves and realized that I didn't know which way was up or down, and I was being thrown around pretty dramatically. So I remember thinking very distinctly that I felt like a little rag doll. And at that point, I felt this overwhelming feeling of peace and acceptance. And I very distinctly remember thinking, oh, good, like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. Like, let's go. It felt so good. And then I remember being on the beach. So what actually happened, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I remember that feeling, though, of total peace and acceptance. And since that time, well, I don't know if it's since, but all my life as a young person, I've had a lot of very strong feelings, which, looking back, I think I can just relate directly to that. I've always sort of had this sick sense of humor with myself. Well, when you have a sick sense of humor, you quickly learn to keep it to yourself. Most people don't appreciate that, especially from young people. But I had a tough childhood. It was pretty rough. And I grew up in, the early 90s, and where, I don't know, just, these days people would call CPS or whatever, but it just wasn't a thing when I was young. So anyway, it was pretty hard for me, and I have a sibling as well. But I always there's just something in me that felt very strongly like, this is for a reason. This is building you up for something. You have to endure. So I did, and I tried to behave, and I knew even when I was very young not to get involved in drugs or, to stay away from all that stuff, because I just knew if I went down that path, it would be irredeemable and I would end up in jail or worse. So I was a really good kid, behavior-wise, I think. I mean, I acted out, of course, which I think is normal. And I was just, every time something horrible would happen, I would just comfort myself and say, like, it's for a reason, I'm building character, like, this is leading up to something. And then I used to sort of have this joke with myself about, well, it wasn't really a joke, it was just this strong feeling that I wasn't going to live past 40. I just always thought that was going to be the end for me. And I didn't know how, I didn't know what, and different theories throughout my life of what might happen, but I just had this really strong feeling that I wouldn't make it past. So I turned 40 last September, and I was honestly pretty nervous and got more and more afraid of death over the years and months leading up to that. Like, really terrified of death, like not wanting to go into the car, even to go into town or anything, just really scared of dying. And I turned 40, like I said, September 19th, and then September, I want to say 27th, it was when Hurricane Helene happened, and I was here by myself, and I was hiding in the bathtub downstairs while all these trees were falling on the house and all around, and I thought, oh, this isn't how it's supposed to end. This isn't it. And then of course survived. But in January, I had an STE, spiritually transformative event, and I talked about it in detail on one of my portfolio tour videos. So if you want to check that out, it's there. It's pretty long, and it's mostly just me talking, but it's an interesting story. And all my fear of death was completely gone. And all of those past traumas and memories and all those, well, I still have the memories, but I just, all that stuff is resolved. I don't think about, I was obsessed, and I forgive everybody and about everything, which I never thought I could do. I never thought I'd be able to forgive, but I have. So I just keep thinking, well, yeah, I didn't live past 40. I didn't. The old me is gone. I've moved on. And this time I don't have any kind of feeling or premonition or anything about what's going to happen next or anything like that. So prior to January, I did not believe in God. I'm a pretty cynical person. But I don't know how to say it exactly, but there was a voice, there's whatever source or higher power is out there, whatever you want to call it, it spoke to me. It's not the first time, but made things extremely clear. And so yeah, I know I'm very I have to see it to believe it kind of thing. I have to experience something to know that it's true, and that's how I know that it's true, is because I experienced it. And I won't go into too much detail, although it is pretty interesting. But yeah, so I talk to God every night, at least. And I've just started getting signs since then. And every time I ask for a sign, I get it, immediately. If not immediately, then within 24 hours, I get a very clear sign, or an answer. And my dreams have gotten really weird, gotten really interesting and lucid, and have been getting messages and stuff in my dreams. I'm not sure exactly what they all mean, but yeah, that's getting very, very interesting. I can read in my dreams now. I can read text, and the text stays the same, and I write in my dreams, and communicate with other, I don't know, beings, I guess. I know I sound crazy, but this is just my reality. Because of the STE in January, I became very interested in NDE experiences, which are near-death experiences, because it was just the thing that was most similar to what I went through in January. So I started listening to all these NDE stories on YouTube, of which there are thousands. And if you listen to them, you will very quickly notice that they all say the same thing. I mean, everybody's story is a little bit different, but they all say the same thing. It's all pretty much the same series of events, or at least the same feelings that people have. So I highly recommend listening to some people who have had NDEs. So that also really helped dissolve my fear of death, because the fear of death was just not knowing, not knowing what happens, and, just the fear of that this is all, you get one chance, and, or it doesn't count or something like that. It's very scary to contemplate. But I've always just really been obsessed with that. So, like I said, I was listening to a lot of NDEs and decided I started listening to this one podcast with a guy who talked about IANDS, IANDS, which is the International Association of Near-Death Studies. And I thought, boy, I wonder if there's one of those around here, because I live very close to Asheville, and if you know anything about Asheville, you know, it is a hotbed for like alternative types, to put it mildly. So I thought if there's anywhere where that has it, it's got to be here. Sure enough, there's an IANS meeting that happens every month, just like 10 or 15 minutes down the road here at a place called the Center for Conscious Living and Dying. And I went there not knowing anything about it. The meeting was extremely interesting. I told my story because people asked. And told my story about the ST, because at the time I don't know, I just sort of wasn't counting the thing when I was a kid. I realize now that it's all connected, but anyway, so that took place at the CCLD. So I went to that, and then like a week later, I just had this strong feeling of like, I really want to go back there. And I asked my husband if he wanted to go see it with me, wanted to go visit the grounds because it's extremely beautiful. So it was a Sunday, and I just thought, you want to go over there? I don't know why, I just want to go. So we went over there, and the entire time we were there was this horizontal rainbow in the sky. And we're talking about like a clear blue, sunny, warm day. And there's just this huge rainbow hovering over the field there for the entire time we were there. And I have never seen a rainbow like that. It was very striking. So I took that as another sign. So when I was looking at the well, when we were there was some people there doing a kirtan, which I really don't honestly know what that is, but it's some kind of musical chanting thing. And we got there too early to join in, but we listened to one of their songs or whatever you want to call it. And she said, oh, well, you know, we do this every month. Check the CCLD website. So I checked the CCLD website, which I had not been on. I had found the meeting through IANS. And I noticed that the facility basically is where people go to spend their last few days or maybe weeks on Earth. So you go there to die, basically. It's a place where you can be supported in different ways, spiritually, or just having people hold space. I looked into it a little more and noticed that they had classes starting for death doulas. And I'd never heard of this. But it's like, you've heard of a doula, like for helping people get through the birth process. Well, a death doula helps people get through the death process. And this is never something in my wildest dreams that I would have seen myself doing, but I just felt really called. I don't know how to explain it. I just thought, oh, I have to do this, right? And then it was sort of like, well, that's crazy. Like, why would I do that? You know, like, but like I said, I asked for signs every night, or even, I mean, every day, basically. I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this wishful thinking? Like, you know, am I just, you know, I don't know. I just, you know, please God, give me a sign. Either way, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Should I do this? Do you want me to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And every time I would get a sign or a dream that was just like, yeah, like, stop asking me. I kept an eye on it. You know, the registration was supposed to open, and waited and was looking into it a lot more, you know, doing my research, doing my due diligence. And finally the registration opened, and I started to get cold feet. I thought, man, maybe I was just, is this really what I want to do? Like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Like, I don't even know what it would be like. I've never met anyone that did that. So before I registered, I prayed that night, and I said, look, I'm going out into town tomorrow. I got to return some stuff at UPS. So I will be looking for a sign. Tell me yes or no. I'm okay with either answer. Just guide me. So I went out to UPS, and as I pulled into the parking lot, there was a car next to where I parked, and their license plate said, "Oh my soul." And I would have liked to talk to the person driving the car to say, "Hey, what's up with your license plate?" But the car pulled out before I had a chance, and I took that to be, "Oh, my soul is leaving." And to me, that was just so poetic and so crystal clear. Like, it was almost funny. Like, okay, okay. So I immediately registered, and let me tell you, it's not cheap. So yeah, I'm invested for sure. But anyway, so the first, the first part of it is online. So we kind of started the introductions like last week. And as you can imagine, it's a pretty eclectic bunch, and it's from all over the world. All over the world, people come to take this program. And this facility is sort of well known because there was a documentary. But it just happens to be 15 minutes from my house. So anyway, I won't harp on it any more than that, but that's the story. So I am in training officially to be a death doula. Isn't that just the craziest thing? I can't believe it. So let me know if that's something you want me to talk about on here. I don't know if y'all are interested in that kind of thing. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about any people or any specifics, but if you're interested in following my journey there, let me know either way. Your thoughts on that, because to me it is very unexpected. So that's pretty much my life update. I have no idea what to expect. All I know is this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I really have no expectations. I might totally fail. I might get in there and very quickly realize this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know, but I trust that I'll be in the right place for whatever I'm meant to be doing. But yeah, let's see where we're at here with this beautiful stamping. I want to put this water down. It's, I think, dry enough. Let's see, hopefully. One thing the thing I'm most nervous about, honestly, is the performative aspect of it, which is something I'm not interested in. The idea of dealing with family drama and rage and grief does not scare me, but the idea of waving crystals around, that part I'm not as into. I mean, obviously whatever helps is great, but it's just not me. So I know that a lot of people go into this program looking at it as a career, but I just cannot wrap my head around the idea of charging people money for that. So I'm hoping I can just volunteer to just sit with people. I'm really good at just sitting quietly, and I don't know, I think it's just what I want to do is just sit with people. I don't want people to have to die alone. Let's see, what am I doing here? I just want to hold space for people, and I just want to listen. And it would be great if I could do something involved with recording their story, I guess, for lack of a better word, their legacy. It would be great to compile, memories or just whatever they want to have remembered when they pass. I'm interested in helping them with that. I wish this boat was facing the other way. like all of the weird little things about me, they kind of make sense when I put it in this context. Like, I know you've heard me talk about couch surfing on here, and you know, which is where you host strangers for free in your home. And I've just always, I've been doing that for 18 years, and I just love it. And I have always loved strangers more than friends. But that being said, I sort of have a limit, like 2-3 days is kind of my limit with people. And then I've also just loved like sitting still, which is part of the reason why I like hitchhiking and train riding so much, because a lot of travel, even regular travel, is just about sitting and waiting, right? Like you go to the airport, you just sit there and wait. Like before there were smartphones and stuff, like you just sat there. Maybe you had a book or something, but I just always like sitting there with my thoughts. So yeah, I don't know, it makes sense. I love strangers. And it is a little bit similar to hitchhiking, isn't it? You tell someone your secrets and then you never see them again. Same with couch surfing. You get a really unique relationship with somebody when you both know you're never going to see each other again. And I really enjoy those kind of interactions. I'm thinking, I know I'm talking so much, so let me just finish this up kind of quick. I think I'm gonna do these. Alright, while I'm putting on these finishing touches, I just want to say, as of this filming, as of this recording right now, it is 1 week, maybe a couple days after I launched my second set of plates on my website, and I am 2/3 sold out. I only have about 20 of each design left, so if you want to get those plates, now is your chance, because these sold out a lot faster than the last ones. And yeah, well, I'm not going to be reprinting them, as you know. So get them while you can. This is one of them right here. Make sure you watch that unboxing video for the Floribund collection. You can see every single thing in detail. I'm really proud of them. I think they look awesome. All right, let's throw a top coat on this so you can see them in all their glory. Nothing terribly complicated today. I think they turned out pretty cool though. Just wanted to give y'all a little life update and just play with some of these new plates. So let me know what you think. If you think I've totally lost my mind, that's okay too. But yeah, if you have experience with that kind of work or anything you want to share about that, let me know. I'd be very curious to hear it. So that's all I have for you today, my friends. So until next time.
Hello, my friends, I'm glad you stopped by.